So who's he?
I'm the store owner.
Oh, you're the owner. You're the guy from New Paltz who came down and opened up this in our neighborhood, our Belmont neighborhood?
I don't know what New Paltz you're talking about.
And have this card or wherever, someplace upstate?
I don't know
I read
what
the Bronx.
you're talking about.
You don't know where you live?
I know where I live. I don't live in New Paltz.
Go wherever the Bronx
what,
Times...
What is it you would like?
The fact of the matter is you have people planting these in public residence, private residences, where families and children and teenagers live. You have it in Spanish and English.
Okay.
You're coming to buildings where you're not, first of all, you're enticing people to buy drugs that normally wouldn't. You're giving them the statement, legal weed at street prices, as if we're street people, we're low lifes. So we're going to buy weed from you because legal weed at street prices.
It's at low price. It's at prices that
no,
are competitive.
street prices. That's street.
Okay.
That's a
is
word.
Is there something that you actually want from me or what?
The question is, you know, why put these in front of residential buildings where children and families and teenagers live?
Okay, we're not trying to advertise.
Because you have it all
children.
up and down 188th Street where the residences are.
We don't try to advertise to children at all.
So then why are these in front of buildings where they live?
Well, children live everywhere. They're
No,
in front of
again.
Where adults live.
You're not answering the question.
You're not asking a question. What is it
I'm asking you, why are these left in front of residential buildings that are family over in the residential section?
We advertise in areas where adults live. Where adults live, that's where we advertise.
Right, but there are children and families and teenagers living here also.
Children and teenagers can't come into our store.
Yeah, but you're perfectly fine with advocating drug use for teenagers and children.
No, we don't advocate drug use.
Because this is, you're telling them legally to street prices.
Children and teenagers come use drugs.
But it does
What are you talking about?
advertise marijuana.
It advertises our products, yes. The products that we have for sale.
Guys, am I right or am I wrong here? What's going on? Am I speaking a foreign language?
It's like cigarettes, right? When they advertise to children or not.
Yeah, but cigarettes, you have to show ID when you walk in the store, and the store has to stop you.
The same
And it's not, and then you don't. They don't put cigarette ads in front of my building.
Do you see the sign that says must have ID? We have a security guard right here, which will not let people in without ID. Children, teenagers cannot come into our store.
But you're okay with advertising in our building, in front of our buildings?
I'm fine with advertising to adults. Yes.
So as long, it doesn't matter if children and teenagers see this too, as far as you're concerned.
Well, it's not my intention that children see it. We don't
But
want
if they're in front of residential buildings where children and teenagers live, how can they not see?
okay.
Are we supposed to cover their eyes?
You do whatever you want with your kids, okay? I'm not trying to advertise. We don't let children into our store. I'm trying to advertise to or in a way that is particularly attractive to children. Okay? Children can walk by our store.
You're not answering the question.
You didn't ask me a question. Children can walk by our store
I asked
and see
you-
that we sell weed. We are a legal dispensary. We are a legal weed dispensary.
And you have no problem with children and teenagers seeing this in front of their buildings? You're okay with that?
It is legal in this state for adults to consume cannabis.
No,
I am not
again,
trying to prevent
this
children
advertisement-
from knowing the fact that is legal in this state.
And that they have a place to buy it if they want to send
Children
somebody
and
to get it?
teenagers do not have a place to buy it with us. They cannot come into our store. We only allow people who are 21 and over, as is required by New York State law and regulation.
That's why
As is advertised right there, which is why you couldn't come into our store
Again,
without showing
it's
ID.
a residential neighborhood, children in the building. You're not saying that you're against that. You're fine with that because, again, this was in front of a building where it's 11 out of 15 apartments are families.
Any children who
8
walk
of them
by
have
our
small
store
children and teenagers.
can see that we are a cannabis dispensary. Look
No,
at-
but
right
advertising in front of our building is different than walking down Arthur Avenue. See, this is something... No,
there. All right. If you were to come and say, hey, do we want to hand an advertisement to a kid? No, of course not.
you left this in front of our building, you left it in our lobby, you left it in front, you left it by the bells. It's kind of hard not to see it if you're a child or a teenager.
Okay, is that a question or what?
No, I'm asking, is this okay with you
Is
that
there
they
anything
see
else that
it?
you want from me, or you just?
So you're denying responsibility for any of this, is what you're saying.
No, we advertise.
You advertise, doesn't matter if children or teenagers see this according to you, because it's okay for them to see that there's marijuana in the world and it's legal. Is that what you're saying?
Marijuana is in the world and it is legal in this state. It's true.
All right, so
we don't
it's
advertise to kids.
and it's fine for our children, Spanish speakers and English, to read this, see this, and think it's okay.
It is okay. Like it is legal
Well,
in this
it's
state
not okay in front
for
of,
adults.
according to most of the people who live around here, who've been living around here,
It is
to have
legal
this
in
in front
the
of our
state for
buildings where our
adults.
children live.
It is legal in this state for adults to purchase and consume marijuana for recreational purposes. We don't advertise to, nor do we sell to children. Okay? I am not going to try and prevent them from learning that this exists in the world.
We actually teach, I'm an educator, we teach them about drugs in school.
Oh, great. Okay.
I don't care if you think it's great.
Pretend that they don't exist.
My question to you is, why would you advertise in private buildings where there are children?
We advertise where there are adults. Okay?
Well, there's adults in every building, so again, you're evading the question.
I haven't evaded any question. I answered. You didn't even ask me a question. Okay, we don't
I asked you,
advertise to children.
why were these in front of a building?
To adults. Okay, if adults have children, their children might see it. Just like if an adult walks by here with their child, they will see that we are a legal dispensary, open and operating. I'm not trying to prevent people from knowing that we exist. We won't target people who are unable to.
Well, I see you have to follow the legal laws, because otherwise you'll go to jail too.
Well, we follow our regulations, and our regulations say like we don't advertise to kids, and so we don't advertise.
This is
to
advertising for kids if it's in front of a building where children live.
I disagree with that.
All right, well, I'll post this for our community to see and ask them what they think.
All right.
Because the Friends of Belmont and the other groups I'm a part of are not happy with this being here. It's an insult to the community. It's an insult saying street prices for legal weed, as if we're street people. Like people buy weed on the street.
Oh, for God's sake.
No, there's nobody I know in my building who's been there for 30, 40, 50 years buys weed on the street. So you're going to cater to a group of people and their children, teenage children, as if it's okay to cater to anybody you want to.
It's okay for any adults who want to come to our establishment, who have ID showing that they're adults. They can come in. It's a recreational shop for any adults in a state where it's legal to do so.
All right. So
Yes,
again,
I'm okay.
you evade responsibility for children and teenagers.
We don't.
That's
sell to
good to know.
children. We don't sell to children.
Right, but
Nor do we-
these
nor do
are
we target
again
children.
advertising in front of our buildings.
We don't target.
These
children.
guys want you to smoke weed. Whether you're once you turn 21, they'll be happy you walk in. But if you see this in front of your building, rip it up, because they're trying to get you guys hooked on drugs.
All right, okay. All right, I think we're done here. You got your video.
Thank you for not answering the question, and the community will see the attitude you show towards the people who live here. This is Jeff Vargan, front of the most ridiculous place in the neighborhood.